Well, today I'm off to discover some of the national cycle network. I say discover, I've obviously ridden some of these before, but I thought I'd show you where this route takes us, because it might be a route you want to ride yourself. So I'm heading out of Bridgend now on Cruella Road. If you catch a train to Bridgend, you just come out the station, down the hill, onto Knowlton Street, and then onto Cruella Road. But there is a cycle path that runs parallel to this up the Tondy Road, but I find that really quite fiddly. There's generally not too much traffic on this road, so this is the way I come. So you turn off Cruella Road down here, onto St Andrews Road, turn right at the end, and then we pick up the cycle path. Right, Route 885 this is. You will have seen this piece in several of my videos. But this is known as the Black Path. There's usually a lot of dog walkers on this section, to the point that on Strava this section is called Mind the Dogs. Not many out today, but it is cold and gloomy. This is still the Black Path, but there's a little bit of road linking the two cycle paths. Again, it's not too much of an issue. The road doesn't really go anywhere. You will occasionally find somebody driving down here, but not often. And then we're back on the cycle path. And then this is the wooden bit over the swamp that's falling apart. There's been a lot of complaints about this, because the planks keep breaking, and then they patch them, and then they break again. So people are saying, well, why can't the council find a more permanent solution? Cross the main road here, and then turn left here at Sarm Station. And if you don't want to ride that little bit through Bridgend, you can get off the train at Sarm Station, and then you're right on the cycle path. Morning, thank you. And this is where we join Route 4. And that's the route that's going to take us all the way to Glen Trisant. I say all the way, it's not that far really. If you wanted to do this loop from Bridgend Station, make a little circuit of it, it's about 45 kilometres. Another road to cross here, and then we're on the path all the way to Blackmill. I'm on the Orbea today, on the Kemen. Not that you need an e-bike for this route, but I just felt like riding the Orbea today. So it's perfectly achievable without any electrical assistance. So Route 4 is a cycle path that takes you all the way from West Wales into London. I'm not going to go to London today. It's probably a 3 or 4 day trip for me, if I was going to do it. And I'm not quite sure why Route 4 goes up into the hills like this, rather than just following the coast through the Vale of Glamorgan. But obviously it must make sense to someone. Right, and here we are at Blackmill. Now you've got to concentrate a little bit when you get to Blackmill. You need to turn out onto the road for a minute. It is signed up, although when you get here it's no signs, so you've got to guess. Whichever way you go is fine. I find it easier to turn left and then right at the traffic lights, which aren't working today, so we can just carry on going. And then you'll see the sign for Route 4. So you stay on the road until you get past the little industrial estate on the right. Little sign on the lamppost telling you to turn right, but it's very faded. It's just as it starts to go uphill again. And then turn left. So this is still Route 4, but it is shared with a road. But as you can see, it's not a heavily trafficked road. Thank you. Is that me, or is that a really unusual sight? Well, I'm not going to suggest there's no climbing involved, but it is achievable without electrical assistance. But yeah, there is still some climbing to do. Right. Again, the signs have all faded away. There's nowhere else really to go, so we turn left, and then there's a sign that says trespassers will be prosecuted, so we'll turn right, and there we are, we're back on the cycle path, and there's a gate. Right, so off we go again. I'm going to suggest this cycle path doesn't get used that much on account of the amount of debris that's on it. It's very pleasant up here, very rural. You wouldn't think we were cycling between two fairly big towns, Bridgend and Llantrissant. Oh, looks like they did have cycle bars here, but they've taken them down. There's a bridge there, which would lead us to believe this was once a railway line. Although it looks a bit steep. Oh, good. Another gate, but there's a way around it. And there is actually a sign here telling you that Route 4 is straight ahead. This bit looks a bit steeper, but it doesn't go on for long. It's quite overgrown here. And this bit isn't particularly well maintained. Oh look, there's another gate. Lovely view though. Well, this is interesting because after that gate we've just gone onto a bit of gravel path, which is obviously going to make it a lot less suitable for people on road bikes. So if you are going to do this route, make sure you come on a gravel bike or a mountain bike. Not only is it a gravel path, it's quite rocky, quite overgrown. Very bumpy indeed. The path is a bit wider, it's still gravel, but this is something to be aware of on the National Cycling Network. The fact that it's a national cycling route doesn't mean it'll have a nice tarmac surface. And I have no affiliation with Commute, and it's one thing I do like about them. It tells you what the surfaces are when you plan a route. It tells you how much is cycle path, how much is road, and what the surfaces are like. You see we go straight ahead here. Oh, there's some sheep as well. And there's another gate, but fortunately this one's open. Can you imagine if car drivers had to stop every 5 miles? Oh, get out their car and open a gate to drive through. And then they wonder why people don't use cycle paths. Alright, well, we're back on a hard surface now. And it looks like there's a bit of a steep downhill coming up. Not sure which way to go here. Oh, there it is on the sign, Route 4 to the right. Well, it looks like this is shared with a road as well. Again, doesn't look too busy, I wouldn't be too stressed about it. But at least you get a bit of payback for all the climbing. There's some houses, we're back into civilization by the look of it. So this is Route 4 still. It shares with the road. But it is signed. I mean, you know, I'm not going to criticise them too much. It is signed, but they are fairly small signs. Generally just stickers on a lamppost, so you've got to look for them. See, there's one right up there. It's kind of not in your eye line. Right, well this is quite interesting because the only way to carry on the route is to go up a curb. There's a road running next to us here, but they've put concrete blocks across that, so you can't get into it. You know, this piece of cycle path does look very nice. Kind of gives you the feeling that there are plans to build something quite big here, and it just hasn't happened. put the roads in and the development didn't happen. Well, this side's blocked off as well, but at least the gate's open. I'm sure that we go here. Oh, there we go, Route 4. I assume this is it. Again, one of those things with cycle paths. They put anti-cycle bars on them. Morning, thank you. Yep, we're still on Route 4. It's a long stretch there. No indications at all. So, I'm a big fan of the cycle network, you know. I mean, sure, we should be able to ride safely on the roads, but we can't. I've said it before, you can ride as responsibly as you like. Car drivers aren't going to hate us any less, because it's like racism. It doesn't involve logic. So using the cycle network is great. As we've got to turn left here. Oh, that's handy. A cycle route with stairs. Brilliant. I like the idea that we have the cycle routes, but boy, could they be so much better. Like not putting gates in them and cycle bars, and as I say cycle bars, I mean anti-cycle bars. Right. Again, this is something that's not that easy. Because to get back on the cycle path, you have to turn right across the traffic. And then we have to turn down here. And that's it, we're in Lentris, and if you want to stay on the cycle path, you're just going to have to turn around and go back the way you came. But I'd like to ride a loop. So I'm going to try and find another way back. Alright, the cycle route, Route 4 goes back up there, but of course now we're heading back towards Bridgend. So this road takes us down to Pontyclean, and then there's a sign for Bridgend, the A473, and you can ride it, and it will take you straight back to Bridgend. But this section between Pontyclean and Glenharran was very, very busy. The road's quite narrow. So I had a look on the map, and we're going to try a different route. So we go through the industrial estate. Oh, I'm going to turn up here, past the Boar's Head, and this should take us to Lanharry, not Glenharran. And here we are at Lanharry. It wasn't as bad as I thought. One or two cars, but not many. There's a sign there for Glenharran. You can go down there if you want to. And that'll take you back to the 473. And from Glenharran there is a cycle route, or a cycle path should I say, pretty much all the way back to Bridgend. But it is still a very busy road. Even though you're off the road and riding alongside it, it's a bit more rural, a bit quieter. So as soon as you cross the motorway, turn right, and once you've dropped down the hill, there's a couple of houses here, you turn right again. You can go straight ahead there, to be fair. Whether you turn right here or go straight ahead is a personal choice, but we're aiming for a village called Troyes. This is a Friday morning, and apart from that little bit around Lentris, we haven't seen very much traffic at all. This last little bit does get a bit fiddly, and it's not too much of a stress because, as I said, there's a couple of different ways you can go as long as you keep heading towards Troyes. But I'll put a link in the description to the Strava so you can have a look at the route on there if you're interested. It's hard to imagine when you're up here that you're only a couple of miles from Bridgend. And turn right down here towards Troyes. There is a sign there, but it's completely hidden by the trees. But if you look to the right, you can see all of the industrial units around Bridgend. So just head in that direction. Troyes is to our left, but I'm just going to take the shortcut and sort of bypass the village. And then we're into the industrial estate. And the cycle path starts here again. And you can use the cycle path to get across the roundabout. But if you head up this road towards Coity, you do have to use the road for a bit. For about half a mile till you get underneath the railway bridge. Then you turn left. And you can get back up on the cycle path. And there we go. We come to the end of Coychurch Road. We're nearly in town. And then we turn left into town. So here we are, we're in town. Road bears round to the right. I'm going to turn left, but the station is straight ahead and just off to the right. And as usual, if you enjoyed this video, if you're interested in the things I talk about, like and subscribe.